What's up everybody, Super Fan here for another car review. This is of course the 2015 Hyundai Genesis 5.0 Ultimate. Huge thanks to my buddy Rob for hooking me up with this brand new Genesis sedan to review for you guys today. So about the Hyundai Genesis, well, I think that there's a really cool restyling here for 2015, and just from every angle, it's just so elegant, and most people don't even know it's a Hyundai. It's just so classy looking. You don't even have Hyundai badges on it. You just have the one badge in the rear, which the owner of this car has replaced with another one of the winged Genesis badges, which always looks much better, of course. And I mean, it looks very elegant, very luxurious, and looks much more expensive than it actually is. Whereas for the interior of the Genesis sedan here, it's extremely nice and very luxurious. Just everything that you look at and touch is just so luxurious and elegant. So first things first, sitting down in these seats, very soft and comfortable, and I think that this is a beautiful color combination too with the blue exterior. I love the black piping on the seats, but they're very comfortable, very supportive too. You know, for luxury sedans, sometimes they're not always the tightest. This is obviously a little bit wider, but there is a good bolster there that does hold you in once you get to that certain point. But they're just very luxurious seats, and you have lots of adjustability and stuff, so you have the perfect driving position. Next is the steering wheel in the Genesis, which is very nice, lots of buttons on it. You know, I was hoping there would be a little bit more metal here and there. You know, some of the you know, higher end luxury vehicles have a more attractive looking steering wheel, but I'm really nitpicking here. It's great. It has a really nice 9-3 grip, and you have, you know, several buttons, so you can do anything you want to basically with this. The only other gripe I have is the paddle shifters here behind the wheel are kind of cheap feeling. The plastic, they're, you know, they look like metal, but they're, you know, this loose plastic. I wish that was a little bit more nice, or, you know, was metal instead of the plastic. But again, I'm nitpicking here. They look great, and it's nice to even have paddles at all. Next is the gauges in the Genesis, which are very nice, very elegant, classy, simple, straightforward, and very easy to read. So you have a nice, large digital part there in the middle that's it has all kinds of informational display, from your lane keep assist to, you know, the dynamic cruise control and all your audio, navigation, all that kind of stuff right there in the middle, which is very nice. Also, this car has a very cool heads-up display, which will also show you much of that same information. Coming along to the center of the dashboard here, again, very luxurious in the way that everything's finished. I mean, this wood has the grooves in it that you can feel, and that's always cool. And you have this large center screen here that's very high resolution, very nice and high quality looking, and it's very clever because, you know, normally with the German or Japanese luxury cars, all of them, you either have a touchscreen or you have a controller, and so it's like, well, you know, you either have to do one or the other. This has both, which is very intelligent, but something that I think everyone should do. But so you have, this is all touchscreen. You can do everything through touch if you want, but you also have a nice little wheel down here, which is, you know, similar to the stuff you get in other you know, luxury sedans, and you have the basic shortcut buttons. So it's great. It caters to both preferences, and that's really nice. And you know, all the menus and stuff are very attractive looking, have a little bit of a BMW kind of look to them, especially the audio one, but look really clean and crisp, and the graphics are great. Coming down to the rest of the dashboard here, it's really nice. You have a little analog clock there in the middle. It's a cool design, and then you have, you know, your several buttons to control everything, and everything's just nicely laid out and, you know, easy to find, and just very simple, not too complicated, and I really like that. As far as storage space goes in the Genesis, it's pretty good. So you have map pockets here in the doors, no actual bottle holder, but they are pretty large pockets. You can fit a good amount of things in there. You have a little, also a little coin thing or something right here where the door handle is, that you could put some stuff in there as well. Coming along to the center, you have a large cubby here that, you know, half of the cubby is taken up by the 2 power outlets, which is nice to have, and the auxiliary and USB jacks, but you still have this nice rubberized portion where you can fit some fairly large items in there, and so that's nice to have. You have your 2 cup holders here, which nicely hide away, and then you have another little spot here that, you know, can be used to hold the key, a cell phone, something like that. You have the center here, which is a nice split opening, and you know, you can fit, you have a little tray up here for your coins that you can remove. There are no jacks or power outlets in here though. It's all just up here in the front. But you know, it's a nice deep thing. You can fit, you know, a box of tissues and, you know, large items like that in here with ease, which is very cool. One thing that's surprising though for a luxury sedan that I noticed is that this center armrest isn't very soft. You would normally, these are super like pillow soft in luxury sedans like this. This one though, it's pretty firm. arm. I mean, it's covered in leather, so that's nice, but I was hoping there was going to be a little more padding there, and there isn't. But again, nitpicking. Another thing to note about this interior that really makes it nice is this large panoramic moonroof that does open up and things as well. So it's just, I love having large moonroofs, and this one is particularly nice. Backseat space in the Genesis is arguably nicer than the front seats. So you have lots of leg room. The seats are, you know, kind of reclined a little bit, which is very nice. Lots of headroom. There's even a cutout in the ceiling there, so even really tall people can fit back there pretty easily, I think. And just lots and lots of room. You know, that center thing folds down, so you have 2 cup holders in there and a nice armrest. But you know, you can also seat 5 people in this car if you really want to. So it's nice to have both. And yeah, I mean, the back seat is just a very nice place to spend lots and lots of time. Very roomy and comfortable. Trunk space in the Genesis is pretty good. There are some larger full-size luxury car trunks, but this one, I mean, I think you could fit just about 4 full-size suitcases in there. And before we get up and get going here, the last thing I want to show is just all the nice little things. There's a lot of little details and things that this car does just to try and give it an aura of luxury and refinement. So the car is currently running, by the way. Another reason it's so quiet in here. But anyway, hitting the off button plays you a nice little symphony. So anyway, but to start up the Genesis, you have this very nice key, and so let's start up and go for a drive. You just, you know, can leave that in your pocket or whatever. There's this very nice engine stop start button. You just hit it and it starts right up. Alrighty, so setting off in the 2015 Hyundai Genesis 5.0 Ultimate. So the one thing you notice right off the bat is just how quiet it is in here. I mean, like, literally all I can hear is the air conditioning running just barely. It's just very refined. And I mean, I've driven, you know, other luxury cars from the Germans and whatnot, and this is definitely, I think, just as quiet, if not quieter. But anyway, other driving impressions. Visibility is very good. So you have a hood that drops down nicely so you can see forward very well. Side visibility is pretty good. You know, average size windows, you can see out of just fine. Rear visibility is very good. And as far as, you know, safety and all that kind of stuff, I mean, this thing is full of all kinds of safety tech. So, you know, I have the lane keep assist on right now, which you can even feel it kind of nudge me towards the lane and give me a warning if I'm getting even close to the lanes. And you know, you have the blind spot monitoring and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, otherwise though, I mean, it's a very nice, smooth car. Of course, the ride is very soft and supple and smooth, and you know, no complaints there whatsoever. All right, so we're gonna turn on this back road here, and I've abandoned straight roads, so I'm gonna put this into sport mode, and let's go for it. Okay, so it gets up and goes pretty well here. So we're dealing with 420 horsepower and 383 foot-pounds of torque, and it'll get this thing up and going in about 5 seconds for 0 to 60 times. And now that we're in sport mode, it's definitely a lot more eager to give me the throttle there, and it's very good performance. That's for sure. So anyway, we're coming up to some tight corners here, and this thing weighs 4,600 pounds. So let's see how it actually handles. This is rear-wheel drive. This is the rear-wheel drive V8 version, and we'll see just how well behaved it actually is on this winding tarmac here. And first impressions, it's actually really good. There's not a whole lot of steering feel, I'll say that, but the steering has a good weight to it. For a luxury sedan, it's nice and weighty still, and it's very composed, you know, and I'm not like nervous or like thinking it's gonna step out on me. It's very sure-footed, which is always good to have that confidence. And but I mean, it's just, you know, I'm on these hills going up and down and all around, and it just wafts you along. You know, I feel like I'm driving a Bentley or something with just how refined it is. It's very, very smooth. All right, here's another corner here. See about the body roll, and it does a pretty good job, I gotta say. I mean, this is a huge dip. Lane keep was freaking out on me a little bit there, but otherwise, I mean, it's so composed. It handles so much better than I expected, really. I mean, my friend bought this car. He's an enthusiast, and, you know, he enjoys performance, so I knew that it wouldn't be a total dud, but this thing just really just eats up this back road way better than you would expect. Oh, man, this is fun, actually. It can keep pace with you. Like I said, it's in sport mode, and it's, you know, giving me the power I want, giving me the gears I want. And that's another thing, is this is an 8-speed automatic transmission, which allows you to get very good, you know, fuel economy while still, you know, having smooth shifts, and it's Hyundai's own 8-speed, so it's not the ZF or anything like that, but it does a really good job. The shifts are extremely smooth in the normal mode, and even in sport mode here, I haven't really noticed it being rough or anything like that. And yeah, it's just, I can't find a bad thing to say about it. It's really good. It masks its weight well, so it's not like you feel like you're really pushing this heavy car through these corners. There's so many luxury cars that it does feel like you're working it through the corner, and it hates doing it. But this, it was just doing it happily. And let's see about this power again, shall we? All right, I was going around a little corner there, and I thought it would step out, but it doesn't. It just stays planted the whole time. It is quick too, 420 horsepower for a heavier car like this. It's not going to take your breath away. I'm not giggling like a madman here or anything, but it is, plenty of power. But anyway, I'm going to drive this car for a little while longer here, and I'll come back and give you some updated impressions. All right, so we're up on the highway now, and one thing I can say is highway speeds, it's super quiet again, and also this car is like semi-autonomous because it has this adaptive cruise control that's just constantly monitoring everything. And so I have the cruise control set for a certain speed, and it's keeping track of the cars in front of me and slowing down, so I always have a safe following distance with all the different cars. And it's crazy. With the lane keep assist, it'll basically keep itself in its lane for the most part too. And the really wild thing is what I'll show in just a minute, but that is that this car, you could basically drive it without any legs, because the way that this thing, it'll also do the stop and go traffic and all that kind of stuff. And so it's just amazing. You're cruising around even on normal back roads, 35 or whatever, you come up to a red light and it'll stop for you, and then the car in front of you turns, then you turn and it speeds back up and slows down again. You basically never have to touch the brake or the gas in this car. If you have the cruise control set, you just hit a little button on the cruise control to go faster or slower, and it just does it all for you if it deems that it's safe. All right, so we're getting off of an exit here, and the car, as long as you have cars in front of you, this works. So the cars in front of me are getting ready to slow down here as we come up to a red light, and the cruise control is set for much higher than we're currently going right now, so it's basically just judging its speed off of the person in front of us. And so it's slowly slowing down as we're coming up here. I'm still doing the steering, but I'm not touching anything with the brake or the gas. I'm hovering over the brake pedal just in case it doesn't do what it's supposed to. But coming up to a red light here that's actually green, so it's not going to stop for us fully, but the car in front of me is slowing down, and so now it sees the car, it's slowing down. That's it doing it all on its own. I'm turning, it's following the car, it sees the car there, and now the car is in the other lane, I'm here, it's clear, and now it's accelerating for me again. And it doesn't stomp on the gas. Some cruise control systems will stomp on the gas, once it's clear. This, it slowly accelerates, so it's not going to go straight to 70 miles an hour again. But of course, there's no cars to follow now, so I have to take over and do the braking. But that back there is seriously cool, that it's just, I'm not touching anything, and it's just doing it all on its own, and gives you a little glimpse into the future. Alrighty, so I'm driving this car around for a little while longer now, and it's really just a super nice car to drive. This is basically the perfect daily driver / commuter. If all you want is just luxury, like I said, it does do the back roads. It's still quick and fast. It's not like a hardcore sports sedan or anything like that. I think the things that it would need for that to happen, for it to be a really aggressive sports sedan, is it would need to have a more aggressive exhaust, and that whole thing. Like, you hear the roar of the engine up there, but it's because of how insulated it is in here, it's still a very refined kind of ride, but you still can drive it sporty, and it's still a lot of fun. A couple other things while I've been driving it here. The brakes are great. They're very reassuring and confidence inspiring, and yeah, you can tell they're nice, big, beefy brakes, and they can haul this heavy car down to a stop very quickly. So that's always nice to have. And the other thing is the transmission, which shifts very smooth in the normal automatic. It can be a little slow to react sometimes. You stomp on it, and it takes a split second to think about it, and then downshifts like crazy and gives you all the power you want. In sport mode, that whole process is a little quicker, and it's just more eager to downshift, of course. But the shifts are really smooth. The sport mode, you can feel them a little bit more, but in the normal mode, you can't even tell that it's shifting. Like, I'd have to sit here and stare at the tachometer to be like, oh, here, it shifted. Like, you really don't even feel it. It's that good, which is, like I said, all the makings of a very good luxury sedan. and that's definitely what this is. And you know, the last thing is just, you know, I want to talk about the value of this, because this thing is like the size of a 7 Series, but the price of a 5 Series. And so, you know, yes, it's a Hyundai, but no one knows it's a Hyundai except for you, because it has these winged badges all over the place. Everyone thinks it's a Bentley because of the winged badges, and you know, anyone else that just has no clue, you know, they just think it's a really nice luxury sedan. They don't know who it's from. I mean, not that Hyundai is a bad brand or should be anything to be ashamed of, but you know, for someone spending, you know, $50,000, $60,000 on a car, it might not be the badge you want, of course. So you don't have to worry about that, because like I said, only car enthusiasts and people like that are going to know, oh, that's only a Hyundai. But I think that, you know, even though it is only a Hyundai, it shows that you're an intelligent buyer, and that you can get all the room of a 7 Series for the price of a 5 Series, and you know, that goes to say something. You're the type of person that buys this car that doesn't care about badges or brand recognition or anything like that. You want a really nice, luxurious, and fast car, but you don't need to get a fancy badge to do it. You have this car that does everything that those cars do. It has all the autonomous stuff for not even have to drive the car, and you know, it has all the tech and all the cool gadgets you want, but it's so much cheaper. And I mean, these go for, you know, 50 to 60 grand, and I mean, there's all kinds of incentives and stuff. You can get them even cheaper than that, and if you want to go for the V6, you can go even cheaper than that. So I mean, really, it's just a phenomenal bargain. And so definitely a good buy. I would absolutely recommend it over the larger, you know, Germans and whatnot. I mean, obviously this interior is not nearly as nice as an S-Class, but you know, for 40 grand cheaper than an S-Class, it's not bad. So yeah, I mean, it's just an extremely nice car. And so huge thanks to my buddy Rob once again for allowing me to review it. And so let me know what you guys think about the Genesis here. I think, like I said, it's just a really great car for the money, and just in general, price aside, this is a really impressive car in just about every way. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.